Hi everybody, welcome to another one of my video snippets. This one is a very brief but potent little sharing on meeting my match. So what I'd first like to speak to you about are these different stages of new paradigm relating, so that you can feel into which one you are desiring to experience. But first of all, I'd like to just shine some light and feeling into these stages so that you'll be able to easily identify what experience you would like to call forth and enter into. I think I can safely say we're all on the page, all on the same page, with reference to the old paradigm, that this is something we clearly do not wish to experience anymore. A relationship that gets birthed with the energies of sex, lust, impressing, ego, material wealth, material gifts, swooning, wooing, intoxicating, enticing, seducing, adoring, until that weans its way off, the honeymoon period is over. And then in comes the real being that you have been falling in love with, the being mostly interested in controlling, manipulating, possessing, cajoling, minimizing, trapping, correcting, commanding, and all of that business. Of course, it won't just be the other one doing that, it will be your very good self. Once one or both of you have had enough of that, the relationship will end, usually quite ugly, with a lot of blame, a lot of fighting, a lot of egoic wrestling, and then you'll most likely separate and actually may not have anything more to do with each other. A mess. It's a mess from start to finish. That, my dearest friends, is the old paradigm. And of course, you may not end. You may stay together forever, in prison, under control, as a possession, subtle and obvious, passive and aggressive. So I think I'm quite safe in saying we're not interested in that anymore. What I've noticed in this unfolding path is that there are steps and stages being offered in this new paradigm relating. There's something that I call sacred union, holy union, and Christed union. In my understanding, sacred union is the next level of experience once you're out of the old paradigm. It is a relating that is built upon sacredness. So sex is gone, sacred sexuality comes in. Impressing is gone, revealing comes forth. Sharing, experiencing, opening, trusting, coming forward in union to share more of one's heart, more of one's soul, more of one's mind, more of one's sexuality. There's no material wealth, there's spiritual wealth, spiritual gifts. Everything about the relationship is different. You don't go to the bar. You don't go night clubbing. You're not interested in the latest this, that or the other. Your holidays are different. Where you live is different. Inside of the home is different. Everything is looked at through the lens of sacredness. That is what the two desire. The only way this relationship can come to a completion is because one or both of you starts to resist. Or because of the sacredness in your life, another being may come forward, one that one of the other partners desires to be with. So it's like the exposure to this love has opened a deeper desire. And so another one will come into the union to be able to match that desire. And the other one will also understand and give blessing to the extension to the other. The next stage of relationship is holy relationship, where this sacredness now goes to the next octave and becomes a holy desire. A holy desire is a very obvious invitation for the divine to enter 24/7. This union is now based on a Trinity. Every day the two commune with God, praying for instruction, praying for guidance, praying for communion, and then acting on that communion. So the two now become an active pair of hands, an active heart, an active voice. The holy purpose is born. The individualization of the two begins to dissolve, and the union of everything that they are becomes born. Again, the only way this relating can break down is by resisting, or the inner saboteur to come up and really put a wedge between the expansion, because you are now starting to go into a union. You are starting to merge. And of course, ego, not really that interested in merging, not really that interested in sharing the guiding force. So ego may stick its heels into the mud and say no further. If I go any further, I'm gonna die. And so the relating breaks down. The next stage is one called Christed union. This is where the two are filled with the holy, fiery desire to actually become transfigured in the real and true sense of the word. Like Yeshua, like Mary, like the ones before us, a sober, completely real, and completely beautiful transfiguration from a human being into a divine being. I don't mean a new age Facebook divine being. I mean a holy, Christed, sainted one. Which means nothing is left behind, nothing is left unturned. Everything about you and the other is given to the high altar of love for this complete transfiguration. And no one knows what that means and what that might lead to and what you might have to face together. And so this brings in the energy of unknowing, this gorgeous, golden, Christed question mark, because you don't know, you'll never know. You'll never know what's going to be asked of you. You'll never know what has to be given up. Old, small self has to be given up. You don't know what that's going to look like, how that's going to feel. And the number one primary driving force within each of the beings is for this to happen, to go back home, back into the arms of God. And so in essence, the relationship is actually secondary. And the two can look each other in the eye, filled with love, knowing how much they love one another, and say, this love is secondary. The desire to be transfigured and to return home is primary. And so, with that sobriety and effulgent love perfuming the space between us, take this time, beloved friends, to feel into what it is you're truly desiring. And when you come to that free realization within yourself, suggested wisdom is to look at your own being, look at your own self, and just check in with all aspects of expression. Am I resonating at this level? Looking at your work, looking at your health, looking at your sexuality, looking at your personality, the way you dress, the way you speak, where you hang out, who you hang out with, your pastimes, looking at everything, a 360-degree realization of what you are and maybe what you need to become. And then asking, calling forth to meet your match. Dropping down into that sacred heart, opening your arms, opening your heart, and asking to meet your match. And God does answer. God does answer. But you also have to do your work. And your work, when you meet the potential other, is to be completely sober in your mind and completely clear in your emotions, especially if you're a woman. Is this my match? If you're telling yourself the other will one day become your match after X amount of ashrams and retreats and workshops and healings and enough love and enough truth and enough of your spiritual books, I would say forget it. You want to meet your match. The one who is vibrating and resonating at this particular energy you are desiring right now. You don't want to meet your promise. You don't want to meet someone who could become that. You want to meet someone who is that, because you are that. And maybe the first 1, 2, or 3 is not that. So you pass. You pass, you don't move. You wait. God will answer. God will answer. You will meet your match. Especially if you are already extending yourself as that energy. So after this video I'm going to record another one called Opening to Self-Love, which is actually a yogic kriya to be able to increase your sense of worthiness and value and caliber, connect with the source of love, connect with your creator, connect with your wellspring of glorious, beautifying nourishment, and to then be able to invoke and activate and circulate that energy through your whole being. So, beloved friends, I hope this was useful. I hope those 3 steps and stages of new paradigm relating clarifies in a beautiful, sober way. Yes, this is what I would like to experience. Thank you. Look forward to sharing more with you soon.